12 years. It's 12 years yesterday since we incorporated the company. So it'd be a good opportunity to tell people the sort of story, the ups and downs, the successes and the failures we had along the way, and
been a few of them.
Hopefully people find it interesting in how it sort of started and how we sort of 12 years and not out, as you said yesterday, still here and still doing what we're doing. And
how far back we going? Obviously before 12 years, or
yeah, I suppose we obviously we met and we both joined the Marines at pretty much roughly the same time, 2001. Both had a fairly relatively short career, 7-8 years, especially a long stag do, and we've kind of pretty much been together ever since, haven't we? One time you
and the deck of security, as you like to
the deck of security. Obviously, both left the Marines. Both come out with an injury. Neither of us wanted to leave. And I was living in Plymouth at the time. Mrs. had a baby on her way, and I was like arguably the world's worst electrician in the UK. Used to worry about people's
maybe
houses.
Don't mention the company.
Yeah, I used to worry about people's houses burning down. I still do when I see a burnt down house in Plymouth, thinking they wonder if that was one of my jobs. And you offered me an opportunity to come and run a boot camp for larger ladies.
Larger ladies.
Residential boot camp before boot
large
camps were a thing. Yeah, you sorted me out when I was in a not a financially good place at the time. We obviously did that for a few years, didn't we? And also both of us ended up working on the maritime security circuit, I suppose, bouncing around all the nice places: Mauritius, Maldives, Seychelles, Sri Lanka. That kind of reward for being in the military, as some people called it, where you go now and again you see a pirate, but most of the time you're just doing pull-ups and watching Sex and the City and any other DVD you can find on a hard drive. But, yeah, that's how many years did we do that for?
I did less than you. I did about 18 months, I think, before I jumped out. It was busy 18 months, but
yeah,
it was it wasn't for me.
Probably went to more countries than we did in the military. Kind of even though we had
it was an enjoyable time. I think got to explore a bit more and with like-minded people and good runs ashore and seen the world, and that was great. But it's like there's monotonous some of the job in the end, and if you're lucky you got on a good ship with decent food, and then other ones you're sat on I won't say the name of the nations, but certain nations ships, and you'd be on. You're lucky if you got a fish head for dinner. It's pretty rough.
Certain different nations when some of the cleanliness on certain ships when there's one is great as some others. Some of the super yachts were good, and it was an awesome couple of years. And I suppose how the company sort of started. Then obviously I kept working with a guy called Paul, very sort of business minded, very entrepreneurial. Had a few much more myself. I never had any ambition to go, as you know, ever to go into business. And we had an idea to sort of set the company up as any newly as that maritime security industry was booming or growing with I think it was 50 ships hijacked, one of the years. We set a company up, providing training and technical solutions to this newly formed, fairly lucrative industry. But absolutely, first with my hand up, clueless in business, no understanding of, creditors and debtors and cash flow, and learning all the things that you come with when you start a business, all the pains you have. And I suppose
luckily you understand it now.
Yeah. Well, I think most people. I think the difference is everyone has the same sort of issues when they have a business, or the same sort of problems, and it's whether you survive them problems. That's probably the difference in most companies.
Been close a few times over the years.
Yeah, we like to take it to the line, don't we? And see how far we can push things. And how do we? The first 5 months of the business was pretty successful, but really not really a clue what we were doing. But financially, we did pretty well pretty quickly, and ended up randomly meeting a guy called Barry Roach, who's been sort of like a mentor to me and you for over the years ever since. Met him in a party in London, asked us for a meeting. we were 5 months into business then, and he was one of the founders and the MD of PVI, Protection Vessels International, which was the private version of the Marines, I suppose. 900 guys working for it, and we'd both worked for it at one point. I had, and he asked us they were acquiring different companies across different industries, technology, cyber, intelligence, physical training. I think it was like 11 or maybe 14 companies, I think, at one point, and they sort of Dragon's Den moment, 5 months into business, and you got this ginormous company, £60 million company, asking us if we want to be part of that group, and so we sort of high-fiving in the car, and then we obviously did a deal to come under them group of companies, and obviously you come on board pretty quickly, and then we had a roller coaster ride of the ups and downs, delivering projects, for individuals, corporates, government, overseas projects. I think we did stuff in Sri Lanka.
Mad old time. Yeah, it was a game changer for me. Also, I think you're about a year and a half into the company, maybe only a year into, PVI time. And I was on a project in Tanzania, which was awesome, but like really long rotation, as away from home, like missing a lot of my eldest daughter's life pretty much. Awesome money, awesome job, but rotation was really long. And if you're lucky, it didn't roll over, but it missed out so much. And I think it was I'd end up going offshore on the job with I won't say name nation or the vessel, but it was pretty grotty, like fish heads for dinner and all that stuff. And I remember having a Christmas, missing, she was probably was she 2 or 3 at the time, missing a Christmas day, and just been sat there with a plate of rice and a fish head, thinking, it's time to go now. Got an opportunity, thankfully, to get in front of the newly appointed MD when Barry moved up to CEO of the wider group, and he was a core RSM. He did know me a bit through rugby, so that was a foot in the door, and just had to impress him and try and cuff it really, and blag that I was more senior than he thought I was, and got a good little roll down there, and rest is history. Yeah,
we I suppose the PG, as we were known then, PGI training, the sort of training division of that group of companies, servicing them, and I suppose obviously delivering projects ourselves. So overseas, massive learning curve. It was like going into business and playing for Man United straight away. It was kind of really sort of speeded up our sort of business education, I suppose, and got to hang about with real senior players from sort of government, military, that people we would never really would have had any relationship prior to it. And
you used to have to dress up for work then as well.
Used to have to wear
suits and shirts and trousers.
But I suppose business is a good leveler. It doesn't really care what rank or experience. The market doesn't really care, does it? And our we kind of had to prove ourselves, had to prove our products, and I suppose we did that for a few years. Then we did some amazing things, and in 2015. Because of our sort of strong relationship with Barry, the CEO, he, as they sort of focused on cyber and intelligence as a group of companies, I suppose we wouldn't really part the plan going forward, and I had the opportunity to take the company back, which is full ownership, and. We rebranded. How did we rebrand? That was a pretty good story, actually.
We obviously started off, when we first left, we still stayed as PGI training, but we had a sort of a year transition, but we sort of did it over pretty early on in it. Thinking of different names, all sorts got sort of battered about, and I think we're in a pub, and one of the guys who was just coming into the business, leaving the police role, came back to the table we're at with 3 pints of Frontier beer, and as much as we like a beer, we named ourselves after one. Yeah, pretty much.
Then we had a choice of
Frontier Risks or Risks. It was
the Frontier Risk domain name was 199, and Frontier Risk domain name was 3,500.
We were going to be Frontier Risk, I think, originally, and that's caused us some problems over time. If you're on a phone or telling someone, "Oh, you're frontierrisk.com," you always have to throw in with an S on the end.
Yeah, that was just to save us $199 or $3,500. But yeah, we obviously rebranded, which kind of like starting again in some ways. Obviously,
Well, we left the PGI with like zero in the bank, didn't we? It was literally starting from fresh. But we had an opportunity to carry on a contract that we were doing for them, which we have to thank Barry for that, because that probably saved us in the early days.
Yeah, it was kind of, obviously we had, I don't know how many years, about four years in business at that point. So we learned a fair bit, and not easy rebranding and sort of starting again. And but obviously one of the big things that we at that time, it was the early days of the SRMC course. We obviously sat on SRMC 56 today, and last day of the course, 56 courses later, and we had an idea. We create a product that, much more than a product, create an experience for people that, that's going to positively impact and change people's lives. And now we've got 1,400 people that have gone through the program that, and the majority of them, it has changed their lives. Kind of, obviously not just the course, it's the type of people that it attracts. But
so people probably know, it helped Frontier grow as a brand, because we've got a brand within a brand with SRMC. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. What's happened there? People sort of, SRMC, and then our Frontier run it, and to helped us develop. And I think probably helped us establish ourselves pretty quickly. Made us probably look bigger than we were at the time, and did things a bit differently.
Yeah, I suppose we have, and we kind of we've obviously we've got competition out there like any business, and we've had there's some companies have sort of come and gone over the years, but we've always done it our own way, and we kind of almost anti-establishment, and obviously you measure a company success on financial performance, but there's never really been our driver, not by far, to be honest. Maybe that's our sort of weakness, but we try to do things that we enjoy and bring our experience in it, and to give people as much as we can in a short space of time. Obviously there's other arms of the business. There's the consultancy side, which is just getting bigger and bigger at the moment, where probably the evolution of I could see the company is, I suppose me and you are always going to be heavily involved in the SRMC because it's based around us so much, but whether somebody else comes in and has more of an impact in the SRMC, obviously the way it's going, you're running more and more overseas projects. The distance learning inside the business is just get a bit bigger and bigger with Phil driving that forward. I suppose the success of the SRMC has enabled the growth in all the other areas of the business, where, I don't know if you remember, but so how Barry kind of saw what we would hopefully one day create with the SRMC is we're going to end up training up these individuals, going into companies into position of sort of influence, of decision-making roles across multiple sectors. And when we were part of PGI, obviously, he thought there'd be a subconscious loyalty where, the easiest person to sell to theoretically is somebody you already sold to, where PGI would then sell cyber, technology, intelligence products, to them people. And obviously when we left PGI, obviously 8 years ago, whatever it is, we've carried on with that. And so for us,
that's where the tribe grew out of, isn't it? That the people that are out there, shared vision, purpose, they all want to support each other, but it benefits us as well, as much as we sort of push them into roles. When they're in a role and they need some consultancy, need an audit, need someone to do some travel risk management, like, can you guys do this? Or training, obviously you start with training, a lot of it, and that's what's helped the company grow.
Yeah, you get massively. It's kind of I suppose everything we run outside of the SMC has come from the relationships we hold with the people from the SMC. Really, all the contracts, all the consultancy tasks, all the all the area of the business that you were overseeing at the moment. The intelligence products, the country risk assessments, the 24/7.
I think they find it hard to believe when you say it on the SMCs. Like, literally every opportunity we've had has been from knowing someone. That's why we're such an avid supporter of networking and the importance of it, because it literally is. It might be extended networks that get us an opportunity, but if we can get in front of people and win them over, that's where the opportunities come.
Well, like even the alumni events we run, we don't make any money on them. They're just there to keep the relationships with people, provide a platform for people to meet and sort of share ideas and opportunities, and they work, don't they? Kind of, I don't know how many we've done, 20, 25 over the years now. And
well, even then we did differently, didn't we? We went away from the, because it's not us, we've sat here now. I know you've put some trousers on, but you still got your
flip-flops on.
You get flip-flops on. We're in, this is more us, we, as much as we, if we've got to be corporate for a certain thing, we'll do that. But we try to go, well, let's create more of a relaxed atmosphere. Most, even the networking events in our industry were generally all suited a certain, it's not been ageist either, but it was like the dinosaurs of the industry, and it still happens. And we went, well, let's do it differently. We'll make it more exciting. We'll make it more relaxed, but still have, interesting speakers, bring everyone together. There's always a few beers involved, and that's where the best networking's done it. And it seems to work well for us.
Yeah, and we've, like I said, whether it's purposefully or not, kind of, there's no point ever us trying to be something we're not. And we've done this how we want to do it, kind of. And we maybe there's other big.
We're old now, though.
Yeah, we are. We're the older ones now, I suppose. In well, I said we have been here for 12 years, and we the SRMC, I suppose. I don't mean this in a sort of big-headed or I can't say what sort of word, but we've got the biggest product within our space, and we're not. We keep constantly look for it and try to improve, and I'd never get. I said, never get complacent with it. Like, how can we keep?
Yeah, it's not arrogance. It's like it's confidence in what we've got. We've got a really credible. Everything we do is credible because it's built from that. And
yeah, I suppose other parts of it, as you just said, everyone knows us for the SMC, which is kind of what's made us famous in this sort of space.
And then we throw a good party.
Yeah, and we throw a good party, really good party.
Maybe that's what we should have done. Events.
Yeah. I look at the course like an event, to be honest. Like trying to get every little bit sort of right. But yeah, I suppose the other areas of the business where you've obviously got much more of a focus on than I have is all the sort of consultancy projects, which the team's rapidly expanding at the moment. Have to make sure we get the right people. One of the things one of the things we have made mistakes over the years is it's not easy dealing with different characters, different abilities, different resources we've had in the team, trying to sort of control or like get them going the way we want it to go.
Even I'll say even that, the growth of the consultancy side, that's still, I keep coming back to SMC, but it's all linked to that. The strength of that network. When we need the right person for that role, and a recent one, we needed someone really strong in the consultancy space who knew a bit of the medical world, plus could speak French. We had that in the alumni.
Sure.
And you're like, there's something going on in Ethiopia, right? Through the alumni, so-and-so's working out there. We can, get some up-to-date intelligence. So we've got that. That network has all come from it. So yeah, we got a lot to thank the SMC for. Obviously, it wasn't grown like that by accident, but it's sort of paying. Well, come to fruition now with the rise of the consultancy business.
Well, Sharif said, Sharif obviously he wrote the original SMC course, but he said the other day in a passing comment that nobody within our sort of space can have the same network that we've kind of ended up with. Not to do it's because we know such a large volume of people and spend 2 weeks with them, 12, 18-hour days on course. It doesn't really exist in any other sort of. There's no other products similar to it, and how we have got such a how we can. Pretty much any company, any big company in the world, any big brand, is now an alumni member in some form working from and across the globe, which is kind of great for us. It's
it's exciting times. I think we're a couple of the big gigs we've got going on now will lead to some more, and we're even getting involved in space hopefully. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be another different one, but. Yes, exciting times ahead.
Yeah, I didn't actually. We've actually got a project coming up that involves a little bit of space. It's just kind of something I thought we'd never be doing, but the random nature of the things we end up doing, I suppose. Not that sounds like we just do anything, which we don't. We're quite focused in what we do, but some of the different things we've landed on our desks, I don't think we'd.
But yeah, we stay in our lane, don't we? We do stay in our lane, and if it's out of our remit, we're not. Don't get me wrong. Probably in the early days, we'd have probably took more stuff on and try to cuff away through it. But you can't do that in this sector. We bring in expertise when we don't have it, which more often than not is we're surrounded by good people. That's how we do it.
Well, I obviously remember years ago when we got offered to deliver a large scale overseas police training program for 600 police officers for 35 days. We had the call on Friday. Can you deliver bronze, silver, gold commander program, training program? And we were like, yeah, no problem. And then we got off the phone and we're gone, do you know what a bronze, silver, gold commander program is? Obviously we do now. So, yeah, but those days were kind of different, but that's a lot of business is about. You kind of, you work it out as you go along, and you try to engage with it with your network, and there's always somebody within that to deliver. Will have the capability, even if we haven't got it. Kind of. I suppose me and you were obviously both got completely different skill sets, but we've always been about. We're only as good as the strength of the people we bring in. We've got some superstars in the team we got at the moment, and we got Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah, we've enforced our no dickheads policy after New Zealand rugby, because we've got that wrong a few times over the years. But it's like, and I think that's probably one of the big lessons for us is.
You're never getting it right all the time. You have to. So we live and learn. We still make the same mistakes in some ways, but we try and buy into good people. And I think we've always said that we've never done anyone a bad turn, no matter what people think. And I think the people that know us can see that. That we're always, we actually generally care about all our alumni, all that tribe, anyone who's worked for us, even if short term, long term, they've all been looked after, and that's probably. We're people, and that's what's helped us grow. You're more trusted when people can see that, and I think, let's see where the next 12 years take us if we survive through it. I think running a few less of these courses helps. It's like being on rugby tour, isn't it, when you're on the beers every night and trying to keep everyone happy and socialise. But
yeah, there's obviously because people are working so hard on these courses, it is pretty taxing. There's obviously the big weight gain on every course. 3 awesome meals, a fair bit of socialising done. Jiu-jitsu in the morning, getting beaten up by younger, fitter guys on every course does take a toll on your body. But I'm glad we're doing 4 big courses a year now, and it does allow me and you more capacity to work on other things.
We'll never not be involved in it. I think I've said that already, but it is that important to the rest of the business that we'll always be here. There's not many sort of probably senior management within a company that will still turn up to every day of a course and make sure it's running smooth. That's not micromanaging. It's just it's built around the experience as well. It's not a course; it's an experience, and we'll try and use those opportunities that come across us, and this is where we get to know the people and. It's for our benefit as much as theirs as well.
Well, people think I'm joking when I say literally we could have a job just doing introductions for how many times people are. Can you introduce me to somebody in media or somebody at ITV or Sky or Deloitte or wherever? And obviously we can't say no because that's what we've built. But the beast has got so big now. We've it's taken a lot of resource to keep to grow that entity, and that's obviously what we're about. But it's kind of that's probably one area of the business I want to put a bit more time into. Actually, how we kind of keep growing the formalizing the alumni in a much better way. So I know it's we're very proud of that sort of tribe, but almost it's a company within a company really. How it's becoming where. You don't plan when you don't plan for 1,400 people when we first started this thing. And, as if anyone looked at our phones, it's the messages are thick and fast, aren't they, of all them people. If you think somebody said this to me recently, if you think most companies have got a couple of clients, we've got just on the SMC side we've got 1,400 people that have paid us a lot of money and, you know, gives us a lot of time, put a lot into it. That's a big client base straight away who know us back to front, and
What's next then, mate? Where are we going next? Got a plan?
Well,
Something
as
crazy?
it come up in my Hogan's personality assessment thing I did the other day, which was quite really interesting. As a weakness of myself, I'm not very good at looking too far in the future, and which I suppose I know, very much short and medium term focused. But I think we want to be in the next 5 years. Obviously, we plan on sticking a lot of lot more distance learning courses in development. There's apps and video things we're talking about, masterclass style projects. And obviously the consultancy side is your bag.
Yeah, I think we can replicate, you know, the good work's going on at the moment on that, you know, embedding in organisations and improving their sort of security risk sections or elements of their business. I think that's gone really well. We already know that can be replicated without, you know, massive effort. It's just placing the right people with that, you know, that supporting operations that we've got now. That'd be pretty cool if we can keep that going. I think that's where the business will go. I think, you know, we'll probably end up being a bit more sort of 50-50 on consultancy and training. Obviously, always heavier percentage in training. Now we're getting closer to that, and I think that we'd never go, you know, past that. I think that'd be the right sort of balance, and then one day we'll drift off into the sunset, live abroad somewhere, and we'll be too old for this game anymore.
I think too old now, but well, as I said to my missus, for the last 12 years or whatever, this time next year. But even if we did make it, or whatever that means, we'd probably go again the next day.
So we couldn't do it without the, you know, the good people around us, and you know, we have got a strong team, but the team's wider than that, and you know, we say it all the time like that. The tribe, the alumni, that's, you know, we don't own it. We help to develop it. It belongs to everyone, and that's what's great about it, because they all support each other. It's not just us doing it. We wouldn't be able to manage it if it was like that, and it's almost self-manages. Yeah, the events we put on, that's down to us, but the alumni are always supporting each other. I think that's something we've got to thank them for, because they help us grow as well.
I suppose
thanks, guys.
I suppose if a consultant, somebody analysed our business at the moment, and obviously this is 2023, I think, for a second.
It's 2023.
2023. It's the best year. The first 6 months has been the best 6 months we've ever had. But if somebody was analysing us as a weakness, or
we can get our own room then, or not have to share bed anymore.
on course, direct costs. I suppose as a weakness, it would be that myself and, you know, both of us are so heavily involved in that sort of in the tribe, which I can't see us ever sort of. I know things we've just talked about how we need to sort of separate a little bit, but that's because we kind of care, don't we? You know, I can't imagine us ever handing the reins over to other people to run the SMC course. That's not because we micromanage it. Maybe we'll have less involvement as the business keeps growing and growing, but we're always going to be involved in it because it's what we built, what we love. It's like why some of the speakers that we've had since the first course, working on amazing jobs, will never miss their day on course. Because they love what it's done for them and it's pushed their careers on. Sharif, he was obviously in the Marines with us. He was in training with me, a 6-year motorman, and he's at number 10 today, advising government on cyber policy. He spoke on every course, and he would never miss one.
Loads of success stories, isn't there, like that? You know, people heading up, you know, head of security at Sky, and you know, travel risk at Apple, and you know, these people in mega roles, and that just gives us a bit of pride, doesn't it? You know, we know we're doing the right thing. We're obviously on that side of it. You know, we are educating them in the right way, but actually it's not even just about that. It's just infusing them and giving them a bit more drive, and actually go, that you can achieve this, and proof's been done there. There's some people in some amazing roles that, you know, thankfully they push some business back our way as well, which is always helps.
Well, you're obviously very much the qualification man in sort of side of this. You've you got your degree in rounders and geography, but you obviously focus on the qualifications much more than I do. But we're giving people a level 5, a level 6, which level 6 is pretty much master's level. Giving people a third of a master's. We've got 5-10% of our students have gone onto a master's program where, was pretty sure none of them really sort of maybe planned for that before. Or not all, none of them. A lot of them. We even got guys and girls who've gone from level 5 to a master's to a doctorate, which is bonkers. But the qualifications they're not just ticking a box, are they? They're just we're trying to educate people, and we've got a vocational based qualifications, we've got academic ones that would help them for the masters, but trying to give a lot of them based on our experience as well, what we thought was missing. But it's I suppose obviously level 7 product in the pipeline, the next sort of SRMC that we're gonna launch. But I don't really see anywhere else in our sort of space that people are educating people to them sort of levels. There might be other things out there, and I'm sure there are a lot of other great sort of products, but or similar type courses.
We'll keep evolving it. It'll keep evolving. I said, there's people in the early 9. When was the first course? 2014, something like that. The very first one. People enjoyed it then and thought it was game changing, but you put them side by side now.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't even recognise any of it. It's just it's changed that much.
Well, what we've done today, we've got a guy coming in today, and obviously the last day of the course we bring in as an interest piece something radical, and we've had somebody inspirational, somebody we're going to make you look at the world differently. On this course we got Kevin O'Neill from a company called Breath Illusion, which not that I'm religious, but this guy is they must be the closest thing to Jesus. He's got an hour-and-a-half session. He's going to basically teach people how to breathe, which I could probably do with as I'm bugged up in a moment. But and then this afternoon, while everyone's waiting to do their final presentation on course in front of the client, they get a chance to go in an ice bath, something a bit different, because we've got a few spare hours on the last day, and I'm sure people enjoy it. But I can't imagine that's done on many courses. To see what else we can get in the future. Yeah,
it's been a good 12 years.
Oh, thank you.
Not all good.
I feel how it.
We were, we are rewarded for it. We've got a reasonable lifestyle, and we're not taking that much out of the business, and that's because we want to keep the business growing. But everyone gets a share in the success. So long may it continue.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, thank you.
Jits. I don't do jiu-jitsu. He does.
Yeah, so he learned that today. So it's
so they do their little jiu-jitsu handshakes. Nice.